All right. Jags with a huge home W over the Chiefs, going to 4-1. I guess you could call it an upset, but honestly, I don't think you can consider it that with the way the Jags have been moving this year with the offense, the defense, Liam Cohen's coaching staff, and how they've changed the game for this franchise. The Jags are well deserving of 4-1. And the Chiefs are an elite team that they handled and they beat. They put up 31 points against them on Monday Night Football. These primetime games, man, this year, besides that Chiefs-Giants one, that one was a little obscure. Totally a snooze fest. But besides that, it's been a really great year. Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, pure entertainment. That's what we love. That's why you're back on the show. It's JV, back on the JV show for a Monday Night Football recap. I'm going solo this week. My boy Steve got called into work this evening. Hopefully we can get him back on the show next week. But for tonight, same drill as per usual. Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, and a few games and topics I wanted to get to that I wasn't covering yesterday. If you haven't seen that episode, go check it out. While you're here, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate all the support. And before we get started, I would like to remind you this season I am sponsored by my friends over at Big Third Down Shop, who sent me a bunch of these real sick caps, including this JV show one you see in almost every episode. So go check it out. The link is in my bio to shop them. So much more merch coming this season. So stay tuned for that. And without further ado, man, Monday Night Football was a phenomenal game. Right down to the wire. Jags with a final drive. Trevor Lawrence, phenomenal tonight. I thought it was one of his better performances of his career, for sure. I know there was the interception, which we'll get into right away. There was the fumble at the goal line. But overall, as a passer tonight, using his legs, his athleticism really showed this evening against the Chiefs. I thought it was a great showing from not only Trevor Lawrence, but this Jags offense. But firstly, we got to address something. I'm a little hot, all right? I watched NFL all weekend long. And listen, I'm never one to complain about things that are out of my control, but holy shit, officiating was egregious this week. What are we doing? That was one of the worst officiating weeks of NFL football I've watched in a long time. And I fear that it's actually getting worse week after week after week. It's kind of been a snowball effect since week one, I found. And this week, man, did it stand out. The Philly game was horrendous. This Chiefs-Jaguars game was horrendous. It was brutal. Roughing the passer has become way too soft. It's borderline unwatchable. Defensive pass interference. You barely do anything and it's called. The DB might as well play with frickin' mitts on. The fact that there was nothing called tonight on that Chiefs interception right in front of the refs on national primetime television for everyone to see was unbelievable. Like I said, I'm not one to blame the refs or the officiating because you got to control what you can control. You play the hand you're dealt, and if you're losing games, it's most likely something you're failing to do. But these refs have to be held accountable. At some point, somebody's got to hold these refs accountable. It has to happen because it's getting out of hand. They cost games in the NFL in such a close league. So many games, one score, come down to the wire, come down to the final drive. That cannot happen. My mind was blown. I could not believe it. You can point in so many different directions at so many games this weekend. I saw a Jackson Dart roughing the passer, I believe. Wasn't watching the game too closely. It was Giants, Saints. Can you blame me? But I was stunned. Honestly. Anything's a penalty nowadays. Absolutely anything. I just don't get it. And somebody's got to hold the situation accountable. Somebody's got to step in and make sure things are standardized and we're not getting these weird missed calls or these weird calls in these big moments. That Chiefs call tonight was horrendous. It really was. And I've supported the Chiefs, and I've looked past the conspiracies of the refs being on their side, but tonight, that was a bad call. And I think a lot of Chiefs fans would say the same thing about that. I mean, it was right in front of us. How can you avoid that? Unbelievable. But despite having that missed call, despite that, almost switching the game's momentum and swinging it to the Chiefs, Jags clutched up. That was one of Trevor Lawrence's best performances of his career. 18 of 25, 221 yards, 1 touchdown, another one on the ground, 1 interception, which we just talked about. Phenomenal day. His athleticism was real bright tonight. He was doing things on the ground, picking up first down after first down. When he tripped on the goal line and still punched it in for a touchdown, that was miraculous. That final drive, what he did with his arm, putting the ball where it needed to be, right on the money, it was a phenomenal night from Trevor Lawrence. And you can see the growth under Liam Cohen. It's getting better. Now, personally, I've never been a huge Trevor Lawrence fan, and I can take the L on tonight. I've always been concerned about his turnover issues, which he has had a lot of interceptions so far this year, a lot of turnovers in general, and the decision-making under pressure. Still not super confident in it. However, I think what Liam Cohen is doing showed up. He's establishing a run game, helping Trevor Lawrence out a lot with his decision-making. And you can see the minor adjustments, the improvements every single game. The talent is there. Every quarterback in the NFL, at that level, you're talented, man. You don't make the NFL by chance or by luck. Especially as the number 1 overall draft pick, the golden boy, the next best thing. Trevor Lawrence has the talent. Still not too high on him personally, but tonight, I'm going to look past that bias of mine and say that was a phenomenal performance. You can't deny it. That was a great game from Trevor Lawrence, start to finish. Screw the interception, should have been a flag. Yes, the goal line fumble was bad, but it happens. I thought it was a great game from him, and there's a big emphasis on him growing as a passer and that offense growing this year, and that's a big reason why they are 4-1 to start the season. When you look at the Jaguars as a whole, as an entire team, the Jaguars aren't a joke. It is very clear they are a playoff caliber team. They are well deserving of a 4-1 record. They are balling on both sides of the ball. Liam Cohen should be the front runner for Coach of the Year. Defense is physical, extremely tough, and they're a turnover machine. Devin Lloyd, oh my goodness. What a pick six. What a game-changing moment tonight against the Chiefs. That defense has been the leading factor for the Jags' success this year. Turnover machine. I think tonight, with that Devin Lloyd interception, it's either 14 or 15 turnovers on the season. Unbelievable stat line. I mean, yes, they had a pretty rough outing against the Bengals. I think the Bengals might have put up 31, but pretty much all year, this defense has been very good. Very, very good. And that offense has brought the run game back to life under Liam Cohen, and I still don't think they're even sniffing their maximum potential with the pass game. Travis Hunter, we saw the leaping grab tonight. They got to put it up to Travis Hunter more and more. That's where they will succeed. BTJ, still a top-tier receiver in the NFL. I know he's had his struggles early on this season with Trevor Lawrence, but I still believe in him as a pass catcher, in Trevor Lawrence, getting the ball to him and Travis Hunter. They got some elite options on this offense, including Travis Etienne, who has now resurrected his career under Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen has done a phenomenal job since arriving in Jacksonville. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. Talked his shit to Robert Saleh. I loved it. I love it. When your head coach has swagger like that, some people don't like it. They don't mess with it. Personally, I like it. I know football, very emotional sport. you can get wrapped into things. Having a guy like Jalen Hurts, a leader who can, set the tone and calm everyone down and stay extremely calm, cool, collected in the heat of the moment, that's great. But I also love my Bakers. I love my Liam Cohens who go out there, they get scrappy. They talk to the other coach. Now, too much is too much as well. You got to find that balance, but I don't mind it, especially for the Jags who have lacked a little bit of that, lacked a little bit of swagger for a while now since their big run with Bortles and when they met the Patriots and Brady in the playoffs. I love it. I think this Jags team has looked phenomenal, well-deserving of 4-1. As for the Chiefs tonight, Patrick Mahomes is still that guy. He always will be. Honestly, guys, let's stop messing around. 29 of 41, 318 yards, 1 touchdown, an interception. The offense was on fire to start the game. Second half really fizzled out. But this was a 28-point game from this offense. That's pretty impressive. That's more than we usually get from a Chiefs offense that hasn't been the same for a few years now, it feels like. But now they're getting in their groove again. They got a few weapons. Worthy, Kelsey. They got Rashee Rice on the way back. They will be back on track. And I think they're already getting to that point. And like I said last week, I wouldn't want to see the Chiefs in the playoffs at any point. On the road, at home, period. Reed, Mahomes, never want to see that matchup. I promise you. You don't want a Mets with that coach, that quarterback, and that defense playing at an elite level. But great game from the Jags. Well-deserved W. They moved to 4-1 tonight. Chiefs now at 2-3. This AFC conference is up for grabs for absolutely anybody to have. Anybody. And the Ravens at 1-4 to start the season. And the Chiefs at 2-3. And Joe Burrow out. And the Bills losing to the Patriots this week, which we're going to talk about right away. A great segue. AFC's wide open. Anybody's conference. Let's talk Sunday Night Football. Now, most of you may know I'm a Bills fan, and I am more than concerned. More than concerned. I held my thoughts, spent some time today debriefing the game, rewatching, seeing what happened, went over the film. We really needed that. The Bills really needed just a nudge, a wake-up call. Hey, we're not alone. Because right now, Buffalo's got to wake up. We got a real problem on our hands. For 5 seasons straight, we've won this division. We've had our moment. We've had our time at the top. The pressure is now on the Bills. Pressure is on Sean McDermott now. We let the Patriots walk into our home, Highmark Stadium, and we got outperformed. That simply cannot happen. I usually hold this type of embarrassment for the divisional round when the Chiefs upset us. I did not expect it to happen week 5. Primetime football, I was embarrassed. We were outplayed. We were outplayed by a team that we are better than. We are outplayed on Sunday Night Football with all the lights by a division rival that came out of nowhere. And I told you the Patriots were going to be something special. I told you they would make the playoffs. The Bills aren't alone now at the top of the division. Yeah, the Dolphins and the Jets suck. Yeah, we had 3 bye-week games in a row. I understand. But holy shit, am I concerned. I am sick and tired of Buffalo not capitalizing when the opportunity is there. This is our wake-up call. Like I said, the AFC is wide open this season. Wide open. Anybody can win it. Josh Allen, this is your time to shine. And I know you can do it. I know he can do it. I have no doubts. He's an MVP quarterback. For sure he's going to do it for us. But can we find other ways to win? We can't always rely on Josh Allen. We need other guys to step up. this is not the year to take our foot off the gas. Please, I'm begging. I refuse to watch us get dog walked by the Patriots at Highmark again this season, whether that's on the road against the Pats at Foxborough or in the playoffs if we see them. I will be so embarrassed. I will be so damn embarrassed. And the problem, I was rewatching the film, so agitated, so angry. We got exposed. We can't pretend like we've won anything. We can't pretend like we're this golden team that's done all this great stuff, that's had all this great success, because we haven't. Yes, Josh Allen has an MVP. We have 0 championship trophies to show for it. 0. We have nobody that separates on offense. Nobody. Who are we going to on a third down must-have conversion? Yeah, we got Josh Allen. Josh Allen's getting the ball. Who is our go-to guy? It's not Keon Coleman. James Cook doesn't play on third downs. Shakir's a good receiver, but he's nothing close to a number 1. With all due respect, can we please get someone that separates? Our defense is scared. The secondary got burned for 150 yards against a guy who didn't have an ACL a few months ago. We have no dogs. We're scared to hit. We're scared to get physical. We don't want to tackle. The penalties killed us. It was an embarrassment. And this was a wake-up call. We are a ticking time bomb waiting to go off every single year. And I'm sick of losing in the playoffs when we got an MVP quarterback, when our defense falls apart, when we got nobody else to turn to. We need to capitalize now, because we're seeing what happens when you don't. Exhibit A with the Baltimore Ravens. Exhibit frickin' A. You don't capitalize when the opportunity's there and it slips away. Slips away in an instant. We are not a dynasty. The Buffalo Bills are not a dynasty. They're not the Chiefs. You can't have an off year and still make the Super Bowl. We need to win now. Please. But I don't want to take away from the Patriots. All right? Sorry for the rant. Very worked up about the situation. Do not like losing at home. We hadn't lost at home, I think, since 2023, and we gave it up to the Pats. The only worst situation could have been the Chiefs. Honest to God. But Drake May, he's unbelievable. Drake May is a scary man. He walked into Highmark and outperformed Josh Allen. And I'm willing to say it. I'm biased. I've talked very highly about Drake May. I think he's a phenomenal young quarterback. Josh Allen was looking across the field at his younger self. Drake May is the future, not only for the Patriots, but a lot of people think for the league. 74% completion percentage this year, top 5 in yards this year, top 6 in passer rating this year. The athleticism, the moves, the wiggle, the speed to make a play with a guy dragging you down. It was an unbelievable sight. And he is still throwing to an average group of receivers. Yes, Stephon Diggs has been a huge help for him and his progression as a young quarterback this season, but they can still do a lot better in the pass game. And like I said, this entire franchise is convinced that Drake May is not just the future of this team, but the league. Now, I'm not necessarily saying he's going to be number 1 next year or in the next 5 years. But Drake May is putting this league on damn notice. I tried to warn the Bills. I tried to tell you. I posted on January 1st of 2025, if the Patriots got a new head coach, they figured out a few things in free agency and the offseason, which they did, they could be scary. They could be a playoff team. Week 1, everybody clowned. Ever since then, silence. Silence. That was a big win and a big performance from Stephon Diggs. What a phenomenal night from that man. So I will warn you once more. The New England Patriots are back. They're back. They are very, very back. Drake May is the future. They need to give the backfield to Travion Henderson. Period. Ramondre Stevenson is a fumbling machine. Let Henderson take over. Let his speed shine. Stephon Diggs and Hunter Henry have been making plays for this offense. They will be fine as playmakers, but they can still do better with receiving options for Drake May. And the defense is an elite unit. They shut down James Cook and effectively silenced the reigning MVP Josh Allen. Mike Vrabel, he might be behind Liam Cohen right now, but he is for sure up there as a Coach of the Year, finalist and candidate. Hell of a game from the Patriots. I got to give him props. Seriously, it's not all about the Bills being ass. It's not all about the Bills not wanting to play and checking out and turning over the ball and taking all these random penalties and James Cook looking disinterested on half his carries. It's not all about that. I'm getting worked up again, as you can tell. The Patriots played really, really well. Really great game. To come into Highmark, hostile environment, great fan base, very impressive for a young quarterback like Drake May. Statement game for his career. Let's move over to a few earlier Sunday games I want to wrap up on here. First, we had Houston Texans 44, Baltimore Ravens 10. I'll talk about the Houston Texans real quick. CJ Stroud, phenomenal day. Probably the best day we've seen from him in a very long time, and that's the elite production we need out of Stroud now. It seems like this Ravens defense is handing out these great performances to quarterbacks, which is cool, right? I'm still going to celebrate Stroud, but I'm just going to put it out there. It is the Ravens defense. They are injured. They don't got Lamar, but it was a great day. I think this offense was moving, and it's great to see the Texans put up 44 points on any defense in the league. It's really encouraging, especially considering how wide open, like I said, the AFC is right now. They still got a chance. Now, their division is a lot better than people expected. The Colts, the Jags, Titans not so good. We'll get into them in a little bit, but there's a lot of room in the AFC to make noise. And if CJ Stroud is moving like that, they could do something special. But it's all about consistency. As for the Ravens, this has been a complete disaster. A complete disaster. 100% disaster. And I've been laughing since week one at this team because the Ravens are not only 1-4 now. If Lamar Jackson misses next week, Baltimore might miss the playoffs. John Harbaugh's seat gets warmer every single week. I've been saying, time after time, they bail on the run in the playoffs. They don't close out games. They can't hold on to a lead. Lamar Jackson is too talented for the Ravens to have had little playoff success in his career starting as a Baltimore Raven. This team is unidentifiable. Where is the physicality? Where is the grit? Where is the passion? They don't want to win. There's no accountability, and there is no reason to fight. At least when the Ravens have stunk in the past, they could fall back on their physicality or their pride or their grit or their want to win or their drive. There is none of that this year. And like I said with the Bills, when people say this is a must-win season, this is what they mean. Because in an instant, you can lose it all. Lamar goes down. You start 1-4. Derrick Henry is 31 years old. These are precious years to capitalize in the prime of your quarterback's career. Your two-time MVP quarterback. But no, not going to happen. This is John Harbaugh without Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry. It's the truth. It is what it is. We're seeing it right in front of our eyes. Now you got the LA Rams next week. If you don't have Lamar Jackson, OMG, good luck. Good luck. This is a Rams team that is very, very good. An offense that will pummel that defense, and a Rams defense that is young and hungry. The most embarrassing part of the weekend, there was a rookie receiver for the Texans doing the Ray Lewis signature celebration or dance on that home turf. That's disgusting. That's gross. At that point, you watch and you're like, yeah, these boys are done. They're done. There is wraps. You can't have a guy shimmy in the Ray Lewis celebration on your home turf. Fans don't want to come to the games. Fans are pissed off, and they have a great reason to be pissed off. This is embarrassing. I don't care who you got out there. From the start of the season to now, it's been disastrous. Now, I said we talk Titans. We're going to go Titans 23, Cardinals 21 to end the episode. What did we watch in that second half? What the hell was that? Honestly, to be transparent, I turned off the game at 21-6. I was watching Marvin Harrison go to work. I was watching Kyler lead a phenomenal first half. The offense looked great. The defense was doing great things. And I was like, this game's over. It's got to be, right, JV? It has to be over. I checked back. I think in the comment section of an Instagram post, and they're like, Titans won the game. I'm like, OMG. Classic Cardinals. I'm watching the film today, and I could not stop cackling at the snap that went flying off Kyler Murray's head. At that point, I was like, all right, I see what happened here. Classic Cardinals collapse. That was the worst half of football I've ever seen. It was brutal. What did I watch? There was a snap that fired off Kyler's head. DeMarcado, what on earth was going through his head? Don't even get me started on the shit show of an interception, which they kicked into the end zone for a Titans touchdown. But that pretty much sums up who the Cardinals have been. Like I said, I've been laughing all day at this franchise. Absolute embarrassment. Cinema. The Titans were in no position to win that game. The Titans were not the better team. The Titans were giving the Cardinals the win. Cardinals didn't want it. Jonathan Gannon punching DeMarcado on the sideline. Hilarious. What an idiotic mistake. I mean, I can't even begin to talk about that. That pisses me off. I'm sure it pisses a lot of people off. As a fantasy owner, I was livid. I was going bonkers when I saw that. Unbelievable. But honestly, what an embarrassing half. And as much as you can point the blame at DeMarcado, the interception, which resulted in a touchdown, like, we're not even going to talk about it, but what a complete shit show that was. Unbelievable what I watched. You can point at so many people for blame, but Kyler Murray, man. Kyler Murray's time in Arizona is coming to an end. And it's very clear for me. Now, this loss wasn't completely on him. As always in the NFL, when you lose, a lot of different people you can blame. Kind of depends on the person. Usually it's the quarterback. Usually it's the head coach. Very rarely is it a skill player. But Kyler Murray, man, I think I've seen enough. The decision-making, the inconsistency, it is too much for a franchise quarterback. I'm too nervous watching him play. You never know what you're getting. He's already playing from behind with his size. He has to rely on his athletic ability and his arm talent, which isn't always reliable. And you can get a phenomenal first half from Kyler Murray, but that never guarantees you a full, consistent, great game from him. And here's the kicker, right? I can't picture Kyler Murray holding the NFC Conference Championship trophy. I just can't. I can't imagine it. You shut your eyes. I'm thinking, I can't see it. For the life of me, I could not imagine it. I just don't think he's got it, unfortunately. For me, the eye test says it all. I always refer back to Justin Herbert. I watch Herbert play, he's got it. I don't care what anybody says, he's got it. The talent is there. Kyler, there are some flashes. You're like, all right, maybe we can roll with him. Maybe not. You know what I mean? Like, maybe not. And I think his time is coming to an end. Whether it's the end of the year, the end of next year, I don't think he is the solidified future for this team. But one bright spot has been Marvin Harrison Jr. We clearly woke up Marvin Harrison Jr. The guy is an insane talent. In the right system, with the right quarterback, when he's given opportunities, Marvin Harrison Jr. will deliver. 4 receptions, 100 yards. He made a phenomenal contested grab catch downfield. Last week, he did the same thing in the end zone. Did the same thing all game long. He has so much potential. I will not allow my bias against the Cardinals to ruin my thoughts on Marvin Harrison Jr. I just won't. I think he's a phenomenal talent. He's got a lot of hype to live up to. Early draft pick. As a receiver, you got to come in and produce, or else the media will eat you alive. Last year, decent year, not the best. Started out slow this year, but I promise you, what I watched this weekend against the Titans, Marvin Harrison Jr. was everything and more you could imagine. He's going to be a very successful player in this league. I guarantee you. We're going to wrap it up here, talking Titans, talking Cam Ward. This Titans team is not good. Like, they're not a good football team. Probably bottom 5 in the league right now. They've won 1 game. They're 1-4. Lucky win. Should have been 0-5. But good for them. Cam Ward gets his first win. Cam Ward's ceiling is sky high. It really is. I think super highly of Cam Ward. I refuse to give up on quarterbacks. And by the way, it's ridiculous if you're giving up on Cam Ward at this point. But I'm just saying in general, it's ridiculous to give up on quarterbacks who go into bad systems. Bryce Young, for example. I just can't. You know, maybe he's not fit for the league. Maybe he is. I don't know. But I'm not going to pull the plug after what I've seen from Geno, Sam Darnold, Mac Jones, Baker. You can list off a bunch of different names. Daniel Jones, etc. Cam Ward has a ton of freaking potential. The flashes of brilliance, he will make elite throws downfield into tight windows weekly. He's doing this on a weekly basis. He made multiple huge passes down the stretch. Ridley on a post. 2 fantastic fades down the right sideline. Now, it's not all been sunshine and rainbows. All right, it hasn't been all great for Cam Ward. Again, it's Tennessee. There's been a lot of hesitation with his reads. He's leaving a lot on the left on the ball, I think. He's not putting enough mustard on his passes, I would say. I want to see him rip it in. Really just squeeze it right in. Put some velocity on the ball. Have a little bit more confidence. But the talent is there. The playmaking is there. You break down the film, and some of the passes Cam Ward makes will immediately convince you he's special. He's a special, special talent. Somebody get the receivers in Tennessee some super glue for their hands What an unbelievable day from those receivers. How many drops? Countless times. I don't understand. They couldn't catch anything on the weekend. But Cam Ward, he's doing his job, man. The growth will come as a rookie. Titans need to build a better team around him. There were some times where the protection was just busted and he was scrambling for his life. And there were some plays he made, and you were like, yuck, that was bad. That was disgusting. But again, it comes with time. Not everyone's going to have a Jaden Daniels rookie season, a successful year where you go to the NFC Conference Championship and almost make a Super Bowl as a rookie. It'll take time, but I do want to say I fully support him, and I do think he's going to be a special man in this league. That wraps up Monday Night Football game reaction with a little extra sauce added on. I appreciate you rocking with me to the end. If you haven't yet, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. It's been a phenomenal week 5. We're quarter of the way, a little bit more through the NFL season. It's been amazing. I appreciate you sticking with me. As always, have a wonderful night. Stay safe, and I'll catch you next week. Peace out.